society as a whole, when we know that our entire planet will perish if we do not listen to science. Rebekah Jones' reporting on the coronavirus was in the way of Governor Randall.
John Marshall keeps on typing in forced to vote, forced to vote, forced to vote, and then Singularity typed in sellout.
300,000.
He's been going on for 15 minutes.
Or more thousand
staying home with Josh Fox.
When Australia and New Zealand are coronavirus free without a vaccine. Why? Because they shut down. Because they shut their economies down and they paid people to stay home. They took care of their citizens and they listened to the science. In the United States, Donald Trump said, inject yourself with bleach, use hydroxychloroquine. People died. Hundreds of thousands of people died. Rebekah Jones reporting stood in the way and they raided her house. This is a violent Gestapo-like.
Now we're all kind of Singularity, forced to vote. Mario Luvanos says this sucks. Vagabond 88817 forced to vote. Singularity, forced to vote. Sean Marshall, forced to vote.
We're here to talk to Rebekah Jones, who's
deleting messages now, so I guess they're seeing that Stacey E. forced to vote. Singularity's got his message deleted, so I guess
we have to return
I'll just say
to a reason and
hello, Josh,
based
with 3 exclamation points, so that way they're not like
with everything we can.
It's just a troll bot repeating the same shit.
Has to be shouted from the rooftops, and so we're here to give Rebekah Jones our time to talk about this unbelievable.
So Josh Fox got that stupid hat.
The video of it. Stay with us. This is staying.
Don't seem happy. Seems like
it's great to have.
A lot of people have been trying to tell him to force the vote, and he just won't listen.
This program. Rebekah Jones, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you. I like your new background.
Yeah, I've been changing it with the seasons. I don't know if anybody's noticed yet, but previously it was fall plaid, and now we're at winter plaid. So.
Oh well. That's good to know.
Trying to get into the, holiday spirit while encouraging people not to go out and celebrate the holidays.
Yeah. Well,
Rebekah Jones is beautiful. Wow.
So, listen, for people who watch the show.
So both Josh Fox and Rebekah Jones are claiming to be progressive. We only have one white female progressive, Marie Newsom, I think. And she just got in there. She just got to before Marie Newsom. What the fuck is Josh Fox and Rebekah Jones doing? We're supposed to listen to these assholes? Why don't y'all use your celebrity to run for U.S. Congress?
Show the video.
Y'all waste your celebrity on fucking selling out as quick as possible.
Broadcast on the same day that it was out. We had a conversation earlier that day about what was going on. But give us a background. Like for people who haven't watched the previous 3 scintillating interviews with you, which are amazing interviews and everyone should watch them, but starting back in July, I think we started talking, right? Or maybe it was earlier than that. I think it was earlier than that.
May have been June.
June, April, May, June, something like that. All the months seem to be blending together at this point. But just tell us what happened from the start, because I think people don't recognize that this is a series of attempts on behalf of Governor Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida to repress information. So let's start way back in May or April when it was that you were fired.
Yes, I always love talking about getting canned. So you have to have a sense of levity with these things, honestly, or you'll go insane.
My mentor, Ann Bogart, who was on this program, said anyone worth their salt has been fired, and I have been fired.
Yeah, well, that doesn't happen too often to me, so this was and in this way. Starting in January through May, I ran the COVID-19 data and surveillance systems and public-facing data dashboard for the Florida Department of Health. I was GIS manager there before that, and as soon as I got wind of what was going on with COVID via CDC warning telling us in early January, this is going to be a pandemic, be ready for a pandemic, I was kind of one of the early voices in DOH saying, hey, we need to watch this. We need to be on top of this. We need to be mobilizing resources. CDC says bad. We should act. And for a while, I started to focus not just on the research I was doing in the background, but pushing for a public information tool to allow people to know what was going on in a very easily accessible and easy to understand format. via a website or dashboard. And I was told for weeks that we didn't need it. And then I was told for weeks that we didn't want to cause a panic. And then eventually, in March, I was given permission to launch said dashboard. It was hailed as an international success in communicating science. Dr. Deborah Birx even went on the news rounds to say how great this is. Everyone should go to this site. We hit 100 million views on April 26th, like a month and a half after launch.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then Florida decided to reopen, based almost entirely on a presidential push to do so, after less than a month of being closed down. So
I'm gonna close this down. I'm just gonna read the Melanie Dennis, whatever she's saying. Rebekah's talking about how she used to work for Florida. She made a database for COVID to track COVID, and they fired her because she wouldn't fudge it. She made a separate one at home and tracked it with a second database. They came to her home and said she breached information, which she did not. Drew guns on her, and her family arrested her, and then we'll find out what happened to her since. Oh, shit. Okay, I know who Rebekah Jones is. She's striking. She's like, my kids are up there.
Analysis to do all this work and have it ready by Sunday to show to the governor's people. We did all that. We managed to actually get it done. And when I presented the findings, the plan that they had made was actually being printed and stapled and packeted right in front of me before they had ever seen any of the data or the results. So when the
So before you brought them the data, they had already created the report.
The plan was done.
The plan.
And there was not like a single person in our FE office who had been dealing with this virus since the beginning that was on the reopening committee. Not one. And so they tried to massage things so that the data reflected the report. First by moving the goalposts, by exempting rural counties, then by changing the way we calculated positivity to this made-up metric that no other state in the country uses. And then eventually, when that didn't get them where they wanted, they just said, go in and change the numbers. Just go in and start changing numbers. And I said, no.
Change the data. Make people disappear. Make cases disappear. Make deaths disappear.
Yes. And so when I said no, I got fired publicly, quite publicly. The governor came out and slandered me and basically tried to make me seem like a unqualified, stupid, slutty bimbo, crazy person. I'm going to perfectly get down what he framed me as one day in like a short, catchy sentence. I haven't gotten there yet. But
let me just say before you continue, you're watching Staying Home, Your Revolutionary Guide to the Green New Deal. I'm with Rebekah Jones. We'll be right back.
He's for the Green New Deal. Medicare for All is a part of the Green New Deal. And Josh Fox is opposed. This whole show is about the Green New Deal, and Medicare for All is a part of the Green New Deal.
In terms of coronavirus and the Florida COVID dashboard and the ensuing saga of their repression of information that and intimidation of science and scientists, specifically Rebekah Jones. So, Rebekah, keep going. The governor characterized you in various ways that were sexist and were incorrect and were slanderous.
And then offensive. Said I wasn't a scientist because I had a double major in communications. For that, I guess having two majors now just qualifies, the first one or something. But I didn't want anything to do with the circus, the media circus. He started all that by publicly slamming me. I hadn't spoken to anybody in the press. I didn't want to talk to anybody in the press. I was like, please leave me alone.
Right.
And then after days and days of just trashing me, with me begging people to leave me alone, I realized the whole reason I didn't come forward, to the news in the first place is because I wanted my family to have privacy. And I knew something like this would happen. But they've already gotten rid of that. And they're a lies state. So I came forward and I spoke to Chris Cuomo, and then I disappeared again for weeks. And I watched every trend that we had warned them would happen if they opened prematurely start to play out. And I felt like I have to say something, I have to do something. So as I was watching everything that basically we had said would happen, I knew I had to create a resource that people could trust. So I rebuilt everything that I did at DOH. Only this time I included all the information that DOH wanted to suppress, which included hospitalization data, Nobody there seemed to be concerned with the Department of Corrections data, so I made sure to add that in. I added in emergency response data. I added in an application so that you can easily find all the testing locations near you, which seemed to me to be something the state would have vested interest in providing, but didn't. And I even added in information about hurricane evacuation zones and sheltering and what measures would be taken in each shelter so that people could look and see, you know, hey, my shelter's changed, and this year they're only allowing so many people, maybe I ought to plan for a different one. And so
because COVID was also hitting us at a peak at the same time as hurricane season
in July.
Starting.
Yeah, for
July and August.
Yeah.
And September.
For Florida, July and August was really kind of the first peak. And so I made sure that that information was available as well. And I've been doing that for months and hadn't gotten too much flack, filed my whistleblower complaint. You know, I knew that things were going to get ugly eventually with the governor, but I didn't think that it would be